Hey, good morning. So, plan was to take the kayak out and do some fishing, which still is going to happen in the next week or so. But man, when I got up and looked at the lake here, it just looks fishy. It looks top watery, and it's really hard to not just come out here and fish. And we may still drag the kayak out here. So I think the goal for today is to just fish as much as I possibly can in this lake and see what we can catch. Can we catch some big ones? And if we're gonna do that, we got to get going. So let's head down to the water. All right, first things first, we're gonna throw this buzzbait. There we go. There we go. One on. One on. First fish in the morning, not a big one. Not a big one. Little bitty guy. Little bitty guy. Oh yeah, number 2. That one feels a little better, but not crazy. Not crazy. 2 so far. 2. I don't know why I wanted to drive to do this. I can do it right here. 2. Number 2. About the same size. We gotta find the big ones. I know there's a big one in here. I caught basically in a 4.5 pounder. So I know there's big fish in here. And that might be why we have to bring the kayak out this afternoon. Get back in those coves that I can't get to. And to use the electronics. There we go, number 3. Number 3. Another little one, but number 3 altogether. Oh, he's a dink. Super dink. Super dinky. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. It feels like a decent one too. At least on this BFS reel. There we go. That's bigger than anything we caught with the buzzbait. Still not a monster though. There we go. There we go. There we go. Another little one, but got one on. Fish number 5 for today. 3 on a buzzbait, 2 on a spinnerbait. All very small. Oh, you gotta be joking me. Where'd that go? Way out there? I sure as heck don't understand how you make that many casts and then all of a sudden it backlashes. I really don't. Alright, we caught a few fish this morning on the buzzbait, and that was probably the easy part. Catching them in the morning and the evening is probably the easiest part. Now is the challenge. Catching fish right in the middle of the day. It's about 1 o'clock. It's about as hot as it's going to get all day. Luckily, there's some clouds that just came in, so that could help, but we're going to throw a Ned rig, see what we can do there. The key with the Ned is to slow it down, drag it slowly, be patient. All right, let's get the net out, and here we go. Think about that. A little ultra view action, ultra wide. All right, we're gonna start here. Maybe there's a little shade with this pier and this tree right here, but hoping. So what I like to do is cast it out, let it set, let it go to the bottom. See, the way I tell is the line's gonna just keep, you can see the line keep going down, and it'll keep getting closer to you going down. Give it a little bit of time, and then just slowly lift, drag it across the bottom. You can feel it dragging. And then when you get there, lower the head, lower the rod head, and then reel up to it, and then just slowly drag it again. I'm throwing this Ned rig on a Shimano Curado BFS. It's got 10-pound braid with 6-pound fluorocarbon leader, so probably a little heavy on the line, but feels like a bite. Oh yeah, we're on. Look at that, right there in that piece of shade on the Ned. Being patient with the Ned. There we go. Bigger than the ones we were catching this morning. Probably won't catch them as frequently as we did this morning with the buzzbait, but the Ned can catch fish in the summer heat. As I said, it's right in the middle of the day, 1 o'clock, hot, and this guy was right here in the shade, right up along the bank. It drops off pretty good right here, so I'm sure he was sitting right there where it drops off, but the Ned rig is deadly at this time of year. Oh yeah, we're on. Look at that, again, the Ned, doing work. Slow and steady, be patient. Second bass on the Ned, again, not a big one. There's a lot of these little fellas in here, so, but right in the middle of the day, right in the middle of the heat, catching bass. That's the way you do it with a Ned rig. Yeah. I don't know if I set the hook on weeds or missed there, but oh my gosh. Hey. Having the toughest time with knots. That was a bass. That broke off right where the leader connected. All right, I'm having a rough time tying on a leader line. That's something I have not really ever done before. So I found like a basic knot that a fella said works. That thing just came loose. So what is my best go-to knot for a leader line to a braid? So it's 6-pound fluoro to 10-pound braid. So I'm gonna have to go in and retie this leader on, get back out there. We was doing some damage with that Ned. So, but before we go in, we got to check on dinner, see how well these ribs are coming. Looking golden, probably need to be sprayed. Look a bit dry, so we get some moisture on them and do that, and we're about ready to wrap them. So we'll get some moisture on them and tie on a new leader line. Get back down there.